Okay, super excited to be able to offer. This is the first time I'm offering this Uplevel Your Offer workshop, and it's going to be very interactive. But again, my hope for you all is that you leave today feeling really excited, really confident, having put together an offer that really feels like you, bringing all the gifts, talents, and experiences that God has given you that He wants you to share with the world. Um, and we'll just, if there's going to be a lot of work time, a lot of feedback along the way. And, this isn't just like Carrie's opinion show. Like if you guys, I would love to invite you. You are all mighty women of God and have amazing input and backgrounds. So as we're going through this, let's just all pipe in whenever you're feeling called, whenever you have a thought. I would love to know your opinions and encouragement or feedback for the others along the way. So I will start us off in prayer and then we'll dive in. Father God, I just thank you so much for these beautiful women. Thank you for their hearts, their willingness to be obedient to what you are calling them to do, and the calling that you have created them for. We know that you are bringing transformation to the world, and we as daughters want to be able to help others, to serve others, to bring you glory through the work that we are doing as coaches. Lord, I just ask that, well, we thank you for being here, and just, Lord, invade our hearts, invade our minds with the Holy Spirit, that new ideas and may come to us, and that it just is easy. It is full of flow and full of just surprises along the way, so that we may leave today just feeling on fire for all that you are doing, and super excited to put our offer out there. We love you. We praise you. We thank you. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Okie dokie. Now the fun stuff. So really, okay, so I'll be bringing up the slideshow and we'll be kind of going through that. However, know that I'm going to be asking a lot of questions along the way, and it's really going to come, there is space in your workbook for writing things down as stuff comes up. However, most of the time we are going to be, we'll kind of go through everything, and then we're going to be creating at the very end of the workbook is kind of, I call it a communication canvas. It's really just, here's my client, here's their pains, here's my offer, here's who I am. And then how are we going to put it out there? But another really big part that we're going to be addressing today that you maybe just haven't thought of in the past is overcoming objections. When you think about what your offer is, naturally people are just going to have questions. They're like, yeah, Elizabeth, I would love to do that, but I'm just like so busy and I don't know if I have time. And so we are going to be, just brainstorming what would possibly hold them back from moving forward and working together in saying yes to my offer. And we're going to be kind of flipping the switch on all of that and just literally not overcoming in a like strong salesy way, but like naturally being like, girlfriend, I've got you. I already have created something that's going to help you with this. That's really not a concern. Just again, from our heart. So, all right. So any questions before we dive in? Okie dokie. All right. So I will pull up. Yeah, and feel free to just, if you need to grab water, if you need to grab anything, this is super, I was reading your mind, Kirsten. Yeah, just super casual. And if I'm going on and you're like, hey, hold on a second, you said something and I I need to clarify that, just stop me at any point. I probably won't be reading the chat because I'm going to be on the other screen on my slides. So literally just unmute yourself and be like, hey, hold on a sec. I have a question. I give you full permission to do that and invite you to. Okay, so presenting. Oh gosh, that's really big. Can you guys see this? Okay, cool. All right, so up level your offer. How to design an offer that your dream clients can't refuse. So again, welcome. Super excited to help you guys put your gifts out into the world. I'm so grateful that you are here. So an up-leveled offer. These are offers that make our clients' lives easier, more convenient, or more joyful. And they really involve if we can solve a specific and concrete problem. This is where the tangible part of this comes in, so that they're like, okay, I can totally see that at the end of this, rather than, it's a feeling. And so we want to show the transformation of how their lives are going to be different so they can actually picture it at the end, because that is going to be so much easier to sell. So we all have a calling. I know you guys are here because you're feeling the same. And I just want to have you really anchor into this, that we are God's handiwork. We're created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Because sometimes crafting all of this and putting it out there and being visible, there's a lot of stuff that even just comes up. And so we have to get out of our own way. I certainly had this. I was just like, well, I'm not really an expert, and who's going to listen to me? And I'm just a small town Minnesota girl with nothing to say. I had all these limiting beliefs, but we have to really anchor into God's calling for us. Move ourselves out of the way, stop playing small, and think about that dream client, that woman, that man, whoever you want to be working with. Like, who is out there praying for you and what you have right now? And again, that was the thing that I was just like, okay, Carrie, like, stop making this about you. Focus on them. And that is really going to help us, number one, in creating an amazing offer that they want, that they need, that they will pay for. Because the first couple offers I made when I was a health coach for moms with cancer, and then when I was a financial coach for single moms, I am like, this would be an amazing offer. And I packaged it all up and put it all together. And you guys have probably heard the story. No one really wanted it. So we are making this all about them. Okay, so, and just know that lean on him, look to him for guidance. He will equip you with all you need for doing his will. May he produce in you, through the power of Jesus Christ, every good thing that is pleasing to him. And so with that, we can bring him glory. All right, so in regards to our niche, this is where it all starts. And if you start to feel a little like, this is what's been driving me nuts, just know that I'm going to go over this quickly, but then we're really going to dive into this and have time to like workshop it in just a moment. But in order to sell your offer, you first need demand. So we're going to look for people, places, markets that have pretty common unmet needs, because we don't want to be trying to create demand. We don't want to have to educate a person on why they need our thing. We're just trying to capture that demand that is already being in place. One of my mentors has said, we're stepping into this river of already existing demand. We don't want to have to educate them on why they need our things. And so what are those markets that are actively searching for what we have to offer? Then we're going to be going into Pain and Pleasure Island. So Pain Island, what is this? This is where your client is at, the frustrations, their kind of sufferings, their pain points. And then we are the boat that is going to be taking them, we're the bridge, we're the gap, however you want to say it, to Pleasure Island. These are the desired results that your clients want instead. We want them to see the gap and to wonder, oh, that's what I want, but I have no idea how to get there. And we are just, where it's not salesy. We just come in and we're like, hi, my name's Carrie. Can I help you? I mean, may need to do a little bit more than that, but we just want it to be so natural to be like, I see you. I see that you're here and I know that this is what you want. I have done this too. Let's do this together. So things to be thinking about. I don't know if, just keep this in your head. You can jot down some notes. We'll definitely be diving deeper into this, but you do need to know, what is the transformation that you provide? How does it change your dream client's life? What do they want to avoid? If they're like, yep, I would love that thing. However, like, what do they say? Like, fill in the blanks as, it comes to you. Or maybe even you could start a general document. When I was on sales calls, I had just a Google Doc and I'm like, here's what they want to avoid. These are the pains, the struggles, the frustrations, the way that they just think they're stuck and there's no way around it, whether it's a phrase that they're saying in their head or it's an external force. And external forces are things outside of a person. So, maybe that's time. Yeah, I would love to do your course, but like I'm still working a 9 to 5 and, or I'm homeschooling my kids and I just don't know how to fit all this in. So we're going to be addressing both their internal thoughts and beliefs around maybe I'm too old. I don't know tech. I don't know, what are all the things that they're just saying to themselves? I don't know. And disqualifying themselves, as well as the things outside themselves. I would love to do this, but gosh, my husband, like I'm not sure. I've already invested in a lot of different things and he's pretty skeptical right now. We want to be addressing both of those things. And then, why is your program new and different than other solutions that are already out there? Now, we don't want to keep just presenting the same thing over and over that, maybe that they've already tried. We do need to be talking about our coaching, our program, our offer in a way where they're like, oh, wow, their wheels start turning. They're like, that's actually something do. I'm combining new and different. New and different because we don't want them disqualifying themselves before we even, get to be able to have a conversation with them. So we do need to identify what is new about our program, because this is just going to, again, the sales psychology of this is they're like, okay, I have tried this and this and this, but I haven't tried what she's talking about. And so maybe actually what she's talking about is why all these other things have been hard and why they haven't worked. And then what is different about what you offer, about what you're providing? Gotta let another woman in. So these can maybe be better results. Maybe they're quicker results. Maybe it's just an easier way. Hi, Christine, and welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
Ooh, it's busy. I didn't know it was today, but I'm here.
Amen. We're just getting started, so don't even worry. We're happy to see you. So, again, why is your program different than anything else that they have tried? Maybe it's easier. In mine, I'm going to be going through a lot of examples through my program. It's just the easiest thing to show you. But what I hear is people just want plug and play templates, scripts. They don't want to have to start with something from scratch. They just want to be like, oh, you have something that's already proven? Okay, amazing. I'm just going to put my spin on this, do my tweaks, talk about it in a way that's me, and then, move on. Like it's going to be much quicker and way less frustrating, so many less tears than what I had to go through as I was developing this. I'm like, let me just hand you these things because we want to make it seem easy. Is there more support? Now, I've been in lots of programs, I'm guessing you guys have too, where you're like, wow, this is probably a great program, but there's like 200 people in here. I'm not even sure if anyone's going to see my questions. Like, do I just put it in the Facebook group? Then maybe you do and no one's responding. Like to me, but again, you have to know what level of support you can offer. To me, I am highly, highly supportive. My clients have access to me through Voxer. They can message me as many times as they want from 9 to 5 during the week. They know I'll respond. I don't want them to get stuck. I don't want them to be wondering or have a question and just be like, ah. And so we really want to be highlighting these different things. Is it proven? Have you taken people through this? Maybe you've just done a beta group. Maybe it's proven because you've done this for yourself. That's totally enough. I think one thing that really holds us back is that this is just a limiting belief, but I want to address this is we're like, oh, well, I'm not an expert. You know, I haven't achieved this certain amazing level. But I just want to encourage you that you only need to be 1 to 2 steps further than the woman or the client that you are trying to help. Now, this really held me back when I was a financial coach because I'm like, well, I'm not a millionaire. Like, who's going to listen to me? And again, those are just lies from the enemy. You just, you know, to a first grader, a second grader is like, whoa, they're cool and they've got all the answers, right? And so I give this example a lot, but when you are trying to do something you've never done, like let's say you're going to go try and climb Mount Everest. Do you want a person who's like light years ahead of you standing at the top of Mount Everest and being like, hey, Carrie, take that step right there? And you see them pointing, but you're like, oh, where is she pointing to? Or do you want a Sherpa like right in front of you and you see their steps and you can just put your foot where they put their foot and then just the next step? Like I want someone who's just a little bit further than me because I can resonate with them. I can't resonate with the millionaire who's got a team of 8 people like doing all this stuff to tell me how to start coaching. I'm like, what? I don't have that. I want someone just a little bit further. So I just want to give you guys complete permission to just let that go. Okay, moving on. Okay, then this is what is also going to make your program new and different than anything that they've tried is just by being you. Okay, we're bringing all the gifts, we're bringing our personality, maybe the things that we even think are a little quirky, but we're bringing that to the table because God made you exactly as He wants you, and He doesn't make mistakes. So we are just going to be packaging this up because when you're thinking about starting a sustainable program that is you, that you get excited to wake up to every single day, it needs to be you. You can't be doing things out of willpower and like, there's this thing that I need to do, but I really, really hate it. And so if you're a complete introvert and you don't want your clients to have access to you 40 hours a week, then don't offer that. We really want to be bringing your personality, your special flavor of caring, compassion, love, and the way that you can offer additional value, quality, and a sense of service, those touch points through everything that you're offering your client. So a little bit later on, we'll be brainstorming as many ideas as possible for each kind of phase. So then we're just going to use 1 to 2 that really make sense to execute and that make us excited. Then we're going to be coming up with, I'm sure you've heard this, but wait, there's more if you order today. This was on every infomercial in the 90s. We do want to put in scarcity. Scarcity is, there's a limited quantity. Okay, so let's say maybe you're offering your beta program and you're like, okay, I really want to serve at this high level, but in order for me to do that, I can only give it to 3 people. So is there a scarcity in the quantity? Is there a scarcity? Is there in the urgency, which is like, okay, we're starting this program Monday, so you need to get in by Sunday night at midnight, or like you won't have this offer again for 3 or 4 more months. Then what are the bonuses that we can put in there? And again, this is where we're overcoming the objections. When you know that a person is like, yep, I would love to do your program, but what are all their buts? And just keep developing a bonus that's going to super easily and naturally overcome their objections. And this is going to make it also really, really easy for you on sales calls, if that's how you do it. On a sales page, you can be using these things because you're not like twisting their arm to do your thing, but you're addressing their concern. If you're like, I hear you, I get that you are super busy. That's why I made this XYZ, whatever it is that you have for them. And then we're also going to be putting a guarantee on your offer. There's 3 different guarantees. I can tell you that one will work for you. We'll go over each of the different ones. The first one is a conditional guarantee. So this is where you might be saying, okay, if you don't achieve X in Y time, we will. What could that be for your program? So I'll just give you an example. For mine, I do use a conditional guarantee. If you don't achieve your money back by the time that we are done, I will continue working with you for free until you do. Again, can you imagine for a coach that's been burned by other programs? Maybe they've taken a 12-week course and, I've been there. You feel like this person has overpromised and under-delivered. And by the end of that 12-week course, maybe your child got sick, maybe you got COVID, who knows? Something in life came up and you're like, what? I'm at the end and I haven't even gotten to where I want to be. Like that's just hard on you personally, on your heart. You start to kind of even just lose faith in yourself. Like, can I do this? Gosh, I keep signing up for these things. You start to get jaded against other coaches. Like she told me this and then that didn't happen. And so is there a way that you could use terms and conditions to make it be like, you're not going to fail unless you literally like walk away and give up? I am going to be here for you until you get the return on your investment. So that's the number one, not the number one. That is a guarantee, one of the 3 guarantees that you can use. Number 2 is an unconditional guarantee. So this would just be kind of almost like a trial. You've probably seen this. It's maybe, I would say, not a great one for coaching, but it's like, hey, come in. If you're not happy, we will give you your money back. Maybe there's a 30-day trial. Hey, come on in. You're letting them test this out. But make it also easy for them. If you're like, if this wasn't what you wanted, if you don't feel great about your investment, just email me I will give you a full refund. Now, people use this a lot, and it is very, very powerful. However, just know that there will always be a certain percentage of people that will ask you for that. So, because what I like to try and teach is more of a high ticket, so $1,500 or more, I don't really feel like this unconditional one is great for that. And then there's also an anti-guarantee. You will just explicitly state like all sales are final. This is also really, really common in coaching, only because especially when you join a program and you get access to everything right away, you know, that's your intellectual property, and you've given them so much. They could download and make copies, and who knows what they're going to do with it. But you know, I would just have one of these so that, you know, 5 weeks into the program, people are like, well, you know, my kid is sick, I can't do this program, can I get a refund? No, I'm so sorry, but you know, I just don't offer refunds. All sales are final. Ooh, one more thing about these, the unconditional one. If you have a course in your program where you have different modules, you could maybe give them access to like module 1 or 2, but they're not getting the whole thing until they've actually paid for it. So just another way to think about that. So I'm curious, do any of you offer a guarantee? Do you feel like this would fit into one of your program? Do you have questions about these?
Yes, I have a guarantee, but it definitely not going to be 5 weeks in, but I do,
Good.
but I do have that, you know, if you're not comfortable with now that you see what we're doing, and because it's a spiritual base, and I'm taking all, you know, all clients, not just spiritual base, but basically it is based on a biblical background. So once they get in there and they have a difference of opinion, of course you can get something back, but I do have on there, they will get the 100% back within a week or two of the program. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that, Christine. 1 to 2 weeks is great. I think anything more, they could possibly consume everything and just be like, "Eh." So nope, that's good. Kirsten, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is good to think about. I mean, so far I have been like after I meet a client, if I have a good feeling about them, I have been like saying, you know, you only pay if, you know, the copy I provide for you love. So anyway, but I think I want to rethink some of that too. So I was also just going to mention, because I love your talk about the overcoming objections. And in my copy too, I've heard from a teacher, like questions are actually a form of objections.
Yep.
So I've been using like copy, like the Q&A section to address a lot of those like things that come up, you know, like you brought up the homeschooling, you know, like, and, you know, so in there, like, you know, like I'm a busy mom, can this fit into my schedule? And then to use, you know, your answer to like, yeah, yes, we have, you know, many very busy entrepreneurs and they've thrived because we offer this and this to accommodate them. So anyway, love what you're teaching. This is great.
Yeah, Q&As, frequently asked questions, that can all be used for this, just depending on how you are putting your offers together, what you're presenting them with. So yeah, a really good point. It's not just for overcoming them in the moment. It's also just be using these because they're naturally going to have questions or things that, you know, limiting beliefs around what is even possible with your program. So it's so good to even address that before they start questioning things. So I love that.
I just have one comment, Carrie. So I'm thinking that the conditional guarantee would be if you didn't lose any weight or you didn't have any improvement in your afternoon brain fog, then I will continue to work with you for another 3 months, given that you've done the work. But I mean, I just don't see any way that you wouldn't see any change at all if you followed all of it. So
yep.
I see the point of an unconditional guarantee.
Exactly. No, I think that's a great point. I think that would be perfect for you to use. However, like you also want to say, these are the things that you need to do. Because again, we can't be with them every mealtime, every day, like, let's go exercise or go for a walk or whatever you teach, you know? And so that's just another way to protect you, your time, your energy, is you can say, okay, in the terms in the guarantee, you have to attend all the calls. You have to, do X, Y, and Z in order for this guarantee to be honored. So, just know that I think it's great to have this conditional guarantee, especially in your situation, Krisha, because people are like, I've already tried a million things and nothing's working. But when they see this, they're going to be like, ooh, she believes in this so much that she's saying that she's going to work with me until I get there. Or I like that you said maybe just 3 more
months. Yeah, because it's not forever.
People want to be there for the rest of their life. They're like, oh, I still didn't lose any weight. So are we going for a 3rd year now? Like, yeah. There needs to be some time limits. So I think that's perfect. That's really good. And then just be thinking about, okay, do they have to provide a food log? Do they, what are the things that they need to meet in order for you, meeting with them still and continuing the coaching? Hi, Tanya. Super happy to see you. Welcome. Okay. So guarantees. All right, so we are going to be going into a create framework that I have put together that's really going to get the juices flowing as far as what you can put into an amazing program. And I just got this because God is so creative. And so he says in Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And then Deuteronomy 8:18 says he has given us the power to create wealth. So in creating our program, we're going to be looking at using this framework. And I would really encourage you, this is in the, okay, this is, well, I don't know. I don't have page numbers, but it's in your workbook and you can just be, checking off the little boxes as we're going through it. And so maybe right now, as I'm reading through them and describing them, just put a little check mark there. And then, we maybe, as you go through it, just be thinking right now is just like, hey, I might be open to that. What does that look like? And then later on, you can narrow it down. But so for this C in the create framework, these are things that might be considered like a consult. So this is an accountability group. Maybe you're putting 2 to 3 people together that are students of your program. This doesn't cost you anything more. It doesn't, take any more time out of your schedule, but it's just another added layer for accountability and connection within your group. You don't even have to put them together too. You could just say, hey, I offer accountability groups. If this is something that you want, go ahead and post. If you have a Facebook group for your clients, just say, go ahead and post in the group and connect with someone if you feel called to. You can also offer them email support. This could be any day of the week. It could be, 5 days of the week, 8 to 5. It could be 1 day a week. Hey, on Wednesdays, I offer, this email support. If you send me something throughout the week, I will get back to you on Wednesdays. I do, as I mentioned before, I do this with Voxer. I just find it so much quicker and easier for me to just talk out a question, an encouragement, a prayer, support, guidance, strategy, tools. And so has anyone not heard of Voxer or don't know what that is? Okay, Christine, yeah, no problem. So Voxer is an app. I have it both on my phone and on my desktop. And so my clients get access to me 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. If they have a question, if they are having a meltdown, if they need, technical support, I want them to feel like they're being really well supported. So they can reach out to me. You can type something out. You can include a doc. Hey, Carrie, I'm working on this. Can you take a look at this? And then you can also talk back and forth. So it's a really quick way for me to feel like I am there for my clients and for them to feel like that is an extra. That's a high level amount of support. So a community, I offer a Facebook group for my paid clients. I've also seen, different circles. It could be off Facebook, but is there a way that you're bringing all of your people, your paid clients most of the time together? You can offer a Kickstart call. This might be a one-on-one call with you where it can be literally 20 minutes. It can be an hour. It could be a half a day. Whatever is going to best serve your clients for where they're at, for getting connected, because we want them when they jump in. We know that the people that are going to have the best success are they're like taking action right away. And so this is a great way to be able to, jump in together, make them feel really well supported. Maybe you need to show them how to walk through your platform. Maybe you need to set some goals together. Maybe you need to give them guidance or answer their questions. This is a really beautiful time to start that relationship and start serving them really, really well. The VIP day, that could be, yes, it's called a VIP day, but I've seen them for as little as 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours to me would seem a little long, but you get to choose whatever you want to do. Can you bring in guest experts or other coaches? So when I first started coaching, it was little old me all by myself doing everything. And then I was like, gosh, there are so many other amazing Kingdom women that are going to be able to pour into my ladies that I don't have the expertise for. So starting out, every month I would just bring in a new guest expert. Most of the time it's just someone that you ask, hey, my ladies are, struggling with balance and self-care, and how do you be an entrepreneur and a mom and like still stay sane and do your laundry. Like I've went out and found a balance coach, and I just brought her into my community. Most of the time people are happy to do this for free. And ask around if you need an expert. I would just once a month I would say, hey ladies, what do you guys need extra support on? They would tell me and I would go find it. Now, as I've gotten, exposed maybe to other coaches, other guest experts, I really, really see the value in having a whole team of people pouring into them. So I know some of you are familiar with Vanessa Chavez. She does the prayer and prophetic hour in my free Facebook group. That's free for anyone to, come to once a month. But I always wanted more prophetic. And again, for my clients, just to hear directly from God, as far as maybe it's just like, Lord, I'm struggling in my business. What do you have for me? What do I need to hear from you? Can you give me any directions, guidance? And so after a while, Vanessa was the first one I added. And I do pay her. I really value her time. But again, that's not something that I did right away. Once I was bringing in money, then you can start to pay people. Another woman that I have inside of my coaching program, Michelle Terpstra, she's a master sales coach. She is brilliant. And we just do a swap. She used to be my sales coach, and I was in her program. She asked me to coach once a month inside of her program for free. And she coaches once a month inside of my program for free. So if you can find others to do a swap with, I consider that a win. And she considers it a win so that you don't have to pay for people. Eventually, I added Dr. Darlene Mayo. If you don't know her, you should. She is a Christian neurosurgeon, a neuroscientist. And as newer entrepreneurs, I was just seeing a lot of limiting beliefs from my ladies. And I don't know that I consider myself an expert. I certainly had a lot of these that I had to overcome, but it took time and therapy and working at it. And as I got to know her, I'm like, gosh, this can really happen a lot quicker and easier than I ever thought it could be. So I just invited her in. I said, hey, Dr. Mayo, I really, admire you, all you're doing. Would you be willing to teach in my group just once a month? I gave her what I could pay her, and she said yes. So don't ever be afraid to just propose something to a person. Okay, so then there are private sessions, one-on-ones, there's group sessions, guest coaching. Okay, I have that in here twice. There's emergency check-ins. So maybe you could give them, let's say you have a 12-week program. You could say, okay, you have 6 20-minute emergency sessions. They still would need to book it. So maybe you would just give them your Calendly link or scheduling link, but letting them know that, hey, I had this big thing come up. I really need to talk to you. And because that's really valuable to a person as well. Tutorials. So maybe they're setting up their platform. For my ladies, it is okay. They've most of the time we're setting up something from scratch. So what platform should you use? How do you add a video? How do you add slides? How do you add worksheets? They just want to be shown step by step how that happens. And then reviews. So yeah, for you, Kirsten, that would be like, hey, send me your sales page, send me your email. I will, personally look this over. I'll maybe make some comments and then give you suggestions to make this a lot more valuable. So I know that was a lot on just this one page. Does this get anyone thinking about things they can add to their offer? Does anything really stand out? Do you have any questions on any of these? Okay. Stop me at any time, but we'll keep going because there's a lot more to think about. All right. So the R in the create framework is things that they can read. Now, playbook and workbook, that could be just like I gave you guys here. It could be something that they print off. It could be a whole downloadable, fill outable PDF. It could just be as simple as a Google Doc. I paid $12,000 for one program who basically gave me, they called it a workbook, and it was just a really long Google Doc. And I was like, okay, we're keeping things simple. But I didn't think anything bad about it. I was just like, all right, let's do this. As long as you get the results, that's really anyone wants when they're thinking about your program. They're not like, gosh, well, I wonder, does she have a downloadable, fill outable workbook? Like, no one's thinking that. All they want to know, all they care about is she going to give me what I'm signing up for, the result, the benefit, the transformation. So don't let any of this stuff hold you back. You do not need this. A simple Google Doc is totally fine. Binder notes, these could just be things that, I have provided as I'm reading a book, things that I think are really, really valuable that I've taken notes on. Just like, these are my personal notes. I think it would be helpful to you as well. Here you go. They could be PDFs, they could be reports, ebooks, a physical book. Is there a book? I love this one. Well, probably because I am a huge, huge, huge book nerd, but I send 2 books to all of my clients. So is there something that you can actually, mail to them? Because I don't tell my clients this is coming. So it's just such a nice surprise when it shows up in the email or in the physical mail. And they're like, wow, oh my gosh, that was so sweet, you know, with a little note. And is there something that would really help your clients in their journey? So you can be thinking about that. Maybe it's a journal. You can easily create a journal on your own on Canva. There are templates. You would just have to make it a little bit of your own, but then just download it and send it to them. Or maybe it's a physical journal or any kind of outline. Maybe it's also your slides. I always add my slides into, my teachings, just so I'm a person who loves to take notes, and sometimes I just don't want to start from scratch. I want that slide there to be guiding. Here's the underlying principle. Here's my take on it, and just be writing that out. Any questions on the R, the read part of the CREATE framework? You guys are making this too easy. All right, so events is the E. Could you offer a retreat? I love retreats. Now, this could be in person. I think those are so powerful. However, that's not always possible, and they're kind of big undertakings. So could you just do a virtual retreat? This doesn't even need to be a whole weekend. It could be a 2-hour thing. Is it just you're going to show up? Maybe you do some worship music. Maybe you do a little bit of journaling. Maybe you just have quiet time with God. How can you facilitate an event like that? That's just going to be added benefit for them. Maybe there's different master classes, workshops. Those are, honestly, the same thing, just different names. Webinars, another name for it. A challenge. Most of you guys know what this is. This could be, I would recommend only like 2 to 3 days, 5 days max. People start, I have really played around with the number of days in a challenge. And I think the sweet spot is 3 to 4 days. Because people just they start out strong and they're like, yay, it's day 1. And there's a lot of engagement. And then by day 5, they're just like, oh, I dropped off around day 3 and now I feel bad and I can't catch up. And they've just got these loops in their head too. So if you're thinking about any kind of challenge, I would keep it shorter. 3 days is what I love. Boot camps, basically the same thing. Facebook groups, this would just be your free one where it's a container of just nurturing your client or your pre-clients, we'll call them. So this is just building the know, like, and trust. How can I help them know me, my personality, what I'm offering, what I'm teaching, and build that trust? And then summits. I would not recommend this. And if you're first starting out, I don't know. I was involved in one. I was just a speaker this week, but my goodness, I saw what was going on behind the scenes, and it is a lot. So you're doing interviews, you're emailing, you're doing affiliates, and it's just, this is something I would hold off on until you're a little bit further down the road. And even, I've been in business in this niche for over 2 years, and this is not something that I would even want to tackle right now. I do think the more personal one-on-one connection things that are building the relationships, that's nurturing, that is where you're going to get your clients. Okay, then different assets that you can create. Now, if you've been in coaching for any amount of time, you've probably created different lead magnets or reports or PDFs or the top 10 ways to XYZ or the top 3 things to avoid when you are XYZing. So, is there a way that you could bring everything together? It's a bundle of maybe your top 5 lead magnets, and call it something different, but just again, you're providing them with some value. Could it be just an email course or a mini course? Sometimes you can even just host these in your Facebook group, a free Facebook group. You could do it in the guide section. Guide 1, watch this or do this homework. Guide 2, and it only needs to be 3 to 4 steps. Could you offer some kind of done for you work? Now, there's people that really like to do stuff on their own. And then there's others that are maybe just too busy, too overwhelmed, too something where they're like, I'm out of my comfort zone. Can you just do this for me? And then, you have a conversation about it. They basically just get the information from you that they need. And then you're the one doing this. So I do this with the webinars that my ladies are doing. They answer the questions and I provide them with the webinar slides. Webinars, if you know anything about them, they can take forever to create. My first webinar, literally, I was working with a one-on-one coach, Michelle, who I told you about, and it still took about 5 weeks because there's so much that goes into a webinar. The psychology, the how you format it, the name, and so we just want to make it as easy as possible for our clients. Is there just something that you could take off their plate and be like, you know what? I'm going to do this for you. Because how amazing is that when I'm like, tell my clients, answer these questions and I will I'm just handing you your webinar. So is there a way that you can do that for your clients? VA help. Now, again, in my program, I offer 2 hours of VA help with my personal VA because I know people that get overwhelmed with all the things that they need to do. However, where do I go to find a VA? What if I pay someone? What if she doesn't do the work? I've had that happen to me. And so I just want my clients to know what, I have a VA. We've worked together for almost 2 years now. She can do X, Y, Z, list all the things that she can do. What do you need help with? How can I take some of that overwhelm off your plate? So, and maybe you don't even let them know, outright that they get VA help. Maybe it's just that, the VA is helping you develop their webinar. But, just so that they know they're not in this alone. Are there share funnels? If you're on ClickFunnels, you can easily just give a link of your funnel to one of your clients. So you can be like, you do not need to start from scratch. Let me just give you a link. You can import it, you can tweak it, update it, make it your own. And oh my gosh, I can't even tell you the hundreds of hours that would save if that's something that you provide for your clients. Another fun asset is just, do you have some kind of business swag that you can give them? Maybe it's a t-shirt, maybe it's just a sticker, a journal, a water bottle. What's something really easy? You can go to Vistaprint and just see, what do they have? What can I send them? Again, just surprising them with something in the mail is really going to just warm you in their hearts. So these are really fun things to think about. Any questions here? Okay, we're almost done, guys. Tools, toolkits. Is there something, maybe it's, Kirsten, I know when you and I have spoke, it's like, yeah, have you ever gone to this website? Or, I know it's not thesaurus.com, you have your own copywriting tools that you're like, this is my go-to resource. Do you have something like that you can put together? Or you could call it, I don't know, copywriting toolkit, that is the things that you can put together that's going to make their lives easier. Maybe it's a little black book of people that you have worked with in the past that you love, of resources. I have this for my clients. When you are starting an online course or program, these are the platforms that I use, that I love, that I believe in. Or maybe if you need a graphic designer, here's someone that I found on Fiverr that has, really done well for me. And you're just sharing those resources. Could it be a calendar where maybe it's, in social media posts, Monday, can you post this? Wednesday, post this, and give them some prompts. or give them something to think about. Again, templates are really fun, really easy to do now through Canva. Create something and just like share it to your clients through Canva. Almost everyone, I feel like, uses Canva these days, but it's easier to start with something that has been proven. Are there checklists? Maybe as you're launching your course, it's, hey, did you remember to make your Google Docs viewable, but not, where they can, what I'm talking about, like, what am I saying? Where they wouldn't be able to take your Google Doc and change it, just like little things like that. You want to help them make the process easier. Swipe files are super great. I love getting swipe files from people that have used proven things in the past. Slide decks, these are just basically, the presentations. Trello boards, maybe it is, I have like a 14-day to launch, checklist, but it's hosted on a Trello board. So 14 days out, this is what you need to be doing. Awesome. You're going to check off all those things. 13 days out from launch, this is what you're going to be doing. Is there a way that you could use Trello boards to make this easier? Different planners, different software. Maybe it's an assessment. Again, these don't have to be super high tech. I have quizzes inside of my paid program that is just, it's just paper, and they're tallying up their yeses and their nos. And then, they're getting the results from that. Maybe it's a calculator on how to price their program, on, for you, Kersha, like a body mass index. I don't even know if people use that anymore, but I'm just trying to think of things outside, the box of what I would use. Okay, calendars are on there twice, different questionnaires. So again, as a person is coming in, I want to know where their heart's at. What concerns do they have around this program? So then I can address it. So maybe it's just an intake questionnaire. Hey, tell me, have you tried to launch something in the past? How has it gone? How do you feel around sales, marketing, putting yourself out there? What limiting beliefs do you feel like might be holding you back around money? Those are the types of things that I want to know for my clients, but I'm sure you guys all have different things too. Again, resource guides or done for you templates. Last one, extra AV files. Can you see how I was kind of grasping at straws for the E? This could be a video series, a mastermind, a membership. Maybe it's a certification. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing like everyone under the sun doing a certification right now. And you know what the cool thing is it doesn't have to be ICF accredited. You could give them a certification through Christine James. Like, is there something that would really add value that they would be like, yeah, I'm actually certified through Kirsten Casa and her conversion copywriting method. It brings a little more status to them. They might feel a little more comfortable or confident in what they're doing. And they're like, well, this isn't just a course, this is a certification. There's not a whole lot of different things at the end of a course or a program versus a certification, other than kind of, the piece of paper or a status or something that they can say they're certified in. Most of the time, the only thing you need to do is, I actually saw this on a certification course for someone that I'm on their email list. It was an optional test. Like, really? You could take it if you wanted, and then you didn't have to either. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And at the end of the course, they were certified. So I don't know, but just something to think about. Is there an interview series that you could do? Maybe some audio files. Is there something that they could just start out their morning with? To keep them motivated through healthy habits, starting their day, or maybe just guiding them through, hey, good morning. Let's start out with some gratitude to God. What can we be praising him for right now? just giving a little moment of silence. Okay, what are the things that I am going to be declaring about my day, my business, who I am, what God's doing in our partnership in my business, and then just leave a little bit of time there. Those would be so easy to create. But then it's just something that they're starting with every morning, just getting them off to a great start. I've also been mailed USB drives, or again, Voxer support. Okay. Now, any question on any of those frameworks, options before we continue on?
Hey, Carrie, one question. So I'm guessing that you're saying that we need to have a couple, like at least one from each of them, I guess.
I don't really honestly like to put rules on people. I would say if you're reading about one of these and you're like, that would be cool, that's something I can do. And it sparks you, go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the introvert in me is not liking the events.
Oh, don't worry about it then. Yeah. No worries. And things can change. Just know that in business, so at first this drove me nuts. Now it just gives me a little bit more freedom. We get to update anything as often as we want. And at first I'm just like, I just want to create one thing and like have it be perfect and never have to worry about it again. But that's just not how business goes. We're just always taking information in from those that we're working with and those that we aren't even working with on those discovery calls. What would make this a better program? Then for my clients, what do they like? We're getting feedback. What don't they like? How can this be better? And we're just constantly tweaking, constantly iterating. So start somewhere. You can always add on more later. But again, don't let any of these things hold you back. So if you're like, I don't have something from this category or this category, cool, no problem. I just, as kingdom women in coaching, we don't have to follow a formula. We just follow how God made us as introverts. We're going to honor that, so that's okay. All right, market research. Now, if you're wondering about needing more clarity, am I creating something that my market wants, needs, and will pay for? I've done this the hard way. I would really, really, really recommend to not skip some of this. Now, I'm going to show you some easier ways to do this, even though I will say this last one, market research interviews, is my favorite. It's what I teach my clients. I feel like you're going to get the best information from those that you want to be working with because you're going to them, you're asking them, what would a program of working with me look like if you were to pay $2,000? And we're just letting them fill in the blanks. Like that, you can't really find information to that on Amazon. So as helpful as these are, there's a lot of value in connecting with another human being. And the really cool thing about this, now I can't promise this for everyone, but when I was doing my target market research, I went into that thinking I'm a money mindset coach. What came out of my market research was what I'm doing now. It's business coaching. Now, I really put a lot of money mindset into what I'm doing, but the people with money mindset issues, they had so much issues with it that they weren't willing to pay for it, right? And so now I'm like, oh, I have to market what I'm doing differently to have it be something that people will pay for. And so I'm still doing something I love, but it's a little bit different. There's a marketing side and then there's a fulfillment side. So whatever you guys are doing right now, that's fulfillment. Keep on doing that. Sometimes we just need to talk about it a little bit differently. So I'm going to show you a little bit quickly how we can do this on, if again, the introvert in me, Krisha, I skipped the market research interviews the first 2 times. And I'm just like, I know what they want. I was my own, target market. So I thought everyone was like me, and that's where things went wrong. But this will also give you some really good feedback, because you can go to Amazon and you can be looking for best sellers in your niche. So for mine, it was Christian business coaching. Is anyone writing books about this? Then I would look at the 5-star reviews, the 3 stars, and the 1 stars. What did they like about this book? Were they teaching something that they're like, oh, her XYZ thing that she taught about was like the most amazing thing I've ever heard of? Or the 1-star reviews, what are those saying? Oh, well, this book was really dumb because she didn't even talk about how to sustain my weight once I lost it. Like, you want to know, again, what's in their head. So be looking for the reviews. You can go to Reddit. This is just a forum. You can be searching, what are people searching for? Answer the public website. I'm going to see if I can share, because it's just kind of cool what it looks like. Ah, darn it. Okay, that's going to mess things up. And I want to keep us going. So just know that you can go to answerthepublic.com. You can, if you were to say starter copywriting questions for a sales page, and then it'll give you this really cool graphic of things that people are searching for, that they're Googling. What do they put into Google when they are looking for help with copywriting? Facebook groups, you can use that little magnifying glass. It's in the upper right-hand corner. If you want to know, like I have a coach who is starting to be a podcast coach. So if you are just wanting to know what's on people's minds, what are the questions that they ask others in a Facebook group, go to the magnifying glass and just be like, it'll type in podcasts, and then it'll pull up all the things in that group where people mention the word podcast. So then you can be looking for their questions. And then, like I said, my favorite was market research interviews. Also, because here's the really cool thing, you're building relationships with these people. You're coming to them. You're not trying to sell them anything during these interviews. You literally want to know what would make this program amazing. What are your frustrations? What are your fears around a program like this? And then once you have your outline of your offer, your program, what it's going to look like, you can go back to them and be like, hey, thank you so much. Your interview really helped me in putting this together. This is kind of what I'm thinking for my program. What do you think? And then you're getting feedback a second time. And that's how I got my very first client, is because I went to her initially. I heard her. I put what she wanted into a program. I came back and said, okay, thank you. Your feedback was amazing. Based on what you told me, here's what I'm putting into my offer. What do you think? And she's like, this is amazing. How much is it? And I was so surprised, because it was just so natural. So definitely don't hold back on those market research interviews. Just another little tidbit on market research. This is my client, Liz. I just wanted to share this with you because it's so powerful. She was in a very, very high end. You've all heard of this mastermind, I'm sure. It was $40,000. It didn't teach market research. We worked together. She did the market research, and she actually started selling her program. She didn't sell one thing after her $40,000 investment. So I hope that gives you a tiny bit of motivation to actually do the market research interviews. Okay, price. We need to talk about this. We want to be showing our clients that what they're getting, the value, is worth far more than what they're giving us, the price. This is just an exchange. I'm speaking from experience here. Don't get weird about money. Don't make it about you. We have to in the olden days, they would have given us chickens, but like money's just the currency now. So it's like there has to be some kind of exchange. This is just the easiest thing. So I want to just show you this example on why I do feel like it is really important to niche down. Let's say you were going to be offering a course on time management. What would someone pay for this? I'm guessing you've seen a lot of these offers. They're like 27, 37. But if you're like, okay, I have a time management course or program for school employees, any kind of school employee would be like, yeah, oh gosh, wow, that's for me. That could easily sell for 97. Time management for teachers. Oh yeah, we know these teachers need a lot of help. Like they need support around this. This is a problem for them. I could easily see group coaching for 497, like collaboration. What's working for you? Here are some proven strategies to not lose your mind this school year. Like what can you bring to that? But let's say you had time management program for special ed teachers managing 10 or more IEPs. Now I've only been out at school for a little bit, but if you don't know what an IEP is, it's an individualized education plan. And so a special ed teacher managing 10 or more IEPs, these IEPs take so much time. And so that's where we can really be like, you know what? I know you. I know your concerns, your problems. I have addressed all of this. And you can sell it for a higher price. So, all right. So let's just talk about pricing, because I really feel like because I've experimented with all of this. You heard that I had a 10-week group coaching program for $67. Not one single person bought this. I had 300 people in my challenge. I think it might have been too low for people to take seriously. We know that when people pay, they pay attention and they also get better results because they're like, I just paid $1,500, $2,000, whatever it is. I am going to do the work. I am going to show up to the calls. I'm going to actually complete the homework. Where if I were offering the exact same thing for $67, they'd be like, well, I mean, I've paid for plenty of things for, $60 that I haven't really gotten a lot out of. But when people pay, they pay attention and they get better results. So this honestly is better for your clients and better for you. And it's just going to make business way more sustainable, because I've been on the other side of burnout and giving and giving and giving at things that were $297, $497. And honestly, it's not sustainable. You have to have a really, 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 really big market in order to make, the money that you probably want to make. So I am just encouraging you to get outside of your comfort zone. Like, what's the high end of like where you're like, yeah, I would love to be selling it for this, but, and then you've got all these limiting beliefs, which again are just lies from the enemy. So don't even go there. If I had no fear, what would my price be at? And listen to the Holy Spirit. What is that price that He's giving you? And then, if you're like, oh, well, if you can barely even say that number, maybe if you're on a discovery call, like, yeah, I'd love to sell it for like $5,000, but those words don't even come out of my mouth. Okay, well, we do need to have a comfort level with that too. Could you start at, you're going to tell them my program's at 5,000. However, today, because of whatever reason you want to put in there, I would love to offer this to you for 2,500. Stay true to the price the Holy Spirit's given you, that God's given you. You can offer a lower price. But here's my challenge to you. I would really highly recommend to just start with an agreement with yourself. And you're like, okay, Carrie, every 3 clients, every 5 clients, I'm going to up my price. Because as you get more confidence, as you get more testimonials, as you get more feedback and results, you're going to keep feeling better too about it. So you can start out lower and then just keep bumping it up. My agreement with myself was every 3 clients. So if you do have an agreement with yourself, what does that look like? Maybe it's every launch, maybe it's every challenge. I'll bump it up $100, $1,000. There's no formulas here. Listen to the Holy Spirit and take messy action. Now, another thing that will also get your clients in is offering payment plans. This is another little daughter of the king hack, because again, most worldly gurus, I feel like they would tell you, yes, have a payment plan, but have like one option. Well, you can do that. You do not have to either. If I am on a discovery call with a person and they're like, yes, what you have is what I need, but I can't pay you in full. Most of the time, I'm like, okay, if this is a yes from God, from Holy Spirit, you go have some time with him, look at your finances, you come back to me with a price. And if it's something that I can do, if the Holy Spirit gives me a yes, then we do it. I have offered ridiculous pricing. I think my second client, I offered an 18-month payment plan. Now, you can't do this for everybody because that just, again, doesn't make a sustainable business. However, as a kingdom entrepreneur, as someone who's led by the Holy Spirit, you have the decision to do that if and when you want to. So right now, I don't offer that to everyone, but if I know a person, if I like a person, if I believe in a person, and if the Holy Spirit's like, yep, then I'm like, okay, you know what? I have this thing. What would work for you? So just another thing to think about. Then we need to be thinking about how long should your program be? My answer on this is as long as it takes for your ideal client to go through the steps and have momentum towards the transformation that you're selling. You do want to make sure that, what you're promising, the program promise. And again, don't get weirded out by that promise, because again, we can't be there with them guiding every single step. But if they were to take action on all your teaching, if they did the action steps, if they did the homework, if they did everything you're saying, that's what your promise is. I used to work for a really high-end coach, and her program promise was $1 million program. And it was a 12-week program. There's no one under the sun that was going to make $1 million in 12 weeks in a brand new program. But we know that if you take what she's teaching us, what each of us are teaching our clients, that's the foundation. It may take a little bit longer to walk it out, but if you keep going, you are going to have $1 million course program. Most of the time, it is a 3 to 6 month transformation. 12 months, sometimes a little too long, because people just feel like, well, I've got all this time. I don't really need to dive in and give it effort. Sometimes 8 weeks, and you can have different things. You could have a jumpstart program. Maybe that's a 4-week, maybe it's an 8-week. Typically, a transformation that people are really going to pay for is between 3 to 6 months. Then how much support should I offer? Again, just depending on what your market research shows. I do have 2 tiers of my program. You guys can think about this for yours. But like when a person comes in, I tell them about the program. The program's the same for everybody. It's the level of support that they want in going through the program. Those are the 2 tiers. So I just ask, hey, are you a person who works best with one-on-one support? Because here's another crazy thing that I didn't even put in the Create framework. I offer unlimited one-on-ones, given they have to have completed all the homework from the previous one-on-one. But if a person wants to make an appointment with me every single day, okay, if they completed yesterday's stuff, they can. No one has ever taken advantage of that. I have never had more than one call a week. They surely can if you need support. But again, I want to meet them where they're at. Or are you a type of person who really thrives in community? You want to be around other kingdom women, praying for each other, supporting each other, masterminding together. Again, same program, just different tiers. And then you can have obviously those different price points as well. You're just wanting to, especially the first time you're going through this, tracking their progress, adapting as needed. You can quickly, if you're finding out that people get stuck somewhere, you can really quickly, do they need an extra call? Do they need an extra resource? Do they need a checklist, PDF? Like, is there something, what's going to help them get over this hump? And then maybe you'll need more, or maybe you'll need less coaching calls. Maybe you're finding that they need more, but you're just like, I am an introvert and I don't have time and I really can't give any more of my energy. Okay, well then what can we do? That's maybe when you would put the accountability pods together. Okay, I'm pairing you with another person. You two meet every other week or weekly or email or text or, something like that. Like just you're gauging their support. You can change it, tweak it as many times as needed. Then the transformation. We do want to name your program because that makes you the founder and it really differentiates you from others in the market. So we want to remember clarity over cleverness. You want to make the transformation, your program, like, oh, that's what it is. Lose, 25 pounds in 90 days. Oh, well, okay, now I understand it. Progress over perfection, and you always want to allude to the end result. Again, if a person is doing everything as you teach. So just some examples here. Naming your solution. It could be some kind of method, a methodology. It could be a process, a blueprint, a roadmap, a system, a framework, technique, formula, strategy, or playbook. So my program is called the Prosperous Coach Blueprint. There is one that I know of that's called Debt Destroyer's Roadmap, Successful Saving Strategy, Moneymaker Method, Married in 12 Months program. We do want to make this, easily identifiable. One of my clients, I think she came to me and she was like, I want to have it be called like the butterfly method. And I'm like, cute, but I have no clue what that means. And so as you're talking about it, it's just going to cause more confusion in people's minds rather than, oh, the Prosperous Coach Academy. Oh, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be prosperous. And there's a blueprint to show me how to get there. Sure, that sounds good. Sign me up. Okay, here's the fun objections part. Now, we have 2 minutes. So I am willing to go a bit longer. If you need to hop off, I would just work through this. And know that you probably never have arrived. You can always be tweaking and changing this. But we want to be thinking about what are our clients on those discovery calls, on a sales call, on a sales page. What are the things, the questions, or the things that are coming up in their minds that they're like, yeah, I can't do her program. It won't work for me. It's too risky. What are the things that they're saying? So here's just an example in my program. They're worried about their ability to follow through and or succeed. They have mindset issues. Do I have what it takes to succeed? They have limiting beliefs or money mindset stuff. They're really busy. They're working 9 to 5s or they're homeschooling. They don't want to be seen as salesy or slimy. They may have issues with putting themselves out there, being visible. They're really worried about the consistency of all the things that they need to stay on top of in creating content. And then there's a technology and graphic design overwhelm. So for each of these things that would stop a person from saying yes to your program, you want to flip the switch. Okay, we have a solution for that. Our Set up for success, fast track onboarding call. You're going to jumpstart your success by getting a one-on-one call with Carrie to set goals and develop your customized plan of action. And so we're going to name it something. As you see here, the follow-through formula guidebook, the Proverbs 29 vision mapping, or the content matrix tool. You're just taking their objections and saying, you know what, girlfriend, I've got you. I have this thing. You don't even have to worry about that. So these are just some examples. Prosperous priorities system, the sell, don't, or the serve, don't sell sales script, the no tiers tech plan. You can borrow my personal VA, our ask, seek, pray client success sessions. These might already be things that you automatically have in your program. You're just going to put a name to it and make it sound amazing. It's really easy. Okay, so this is that communication canvas that I was talking about at the beginning. This is what I want you to be working through. This is going to be guiding so much of what you're doing, not only in your offer, but in how you're communicating and how you're marketing what you're doing. So the first part is an example, is just mine, so you get a sense for what that looks like. We need to know, what do they want? Why do they want it? What are the emotions behind it? Their external pains. Again, is it overwhelm? There's a million strategies out there. They don't even know where they're going wrong. Is it time? Time is an external force. I don't have time. The internal, these are the thoughts or beliefs or states of being. Oh, I'm already overwhelmed. I have self-doubt. The things that they're asking themselves, do I really have what it takes to build a business? Did I hear God correctly about my calling? And if so, why is this so hard? You want to be addressing these things. And then the questions that they're asking themselves, the things that they might be saying to their husband, their best friend, even just in asking themselves in their own mind. The second part is more about you as the coach and their guide. They need to have a level of empathy and understanding that we have been there, that we can resonate with where they're at. They're not alone. We have been there, but they can also move out of that. So there needs to be a combination of both empathy and authority. Not only I get you, but here's why I can help you. This needs to be really clear. I would not have more than 3 sentences here for both of them. We just need to have a succinct, this is where they're at, and then this is where they're going. Where are they starting? And then where, if they do everything we say to at the end of our program, where do they end up? What is your unique system? Remember, it has to be new and it has to be different. So typically, you're going to have modules inside of your coaching program. Could be 3, 4, 10. I wouldn't ever have it be more than 12. But you don't want to be, on a discovery call if they're like, well, so what's your program like? You don't want to be like, well, module 1. Module 2, oh my gosh, you are going to lose them. Their eyes are going to glaze over. I would really, if you can at all, put it into 3 pillars, 3 buckets, maybe 4, not more than 4 or 5, 3 to 5. Let's say that 3 to 5 buckets. These are the things that I'm known for. It's also going to help you just get really clear. These are the things that I talk about in my emails, in my social media. This is what I want to be known for. And then we want to productize your call. Don't offer a strategy session. Don't offer a discovery call. Everyone knows what that means. And there's a little bit of like, oh, I don't want to be sold to. I don't even know if I want this thing. We want to offer it a name. Get your free client creation with God blueprint. that is my strategy session and my discovery call. But we're just going to frame it a little bit differently. We want to keep their guards down. And so it's a conversation. So there is time to, in your workbook, start looking at that. Start creating this for you, for your program and your offer. I feel like I need some water. So I've been talking for so long. So maybe just look over your notes and then gather together. What questions do you have? Where do you feel stuck? Where do you feel excited? I'd love to just get a little check-in with every one of you. Again, if you have to hop off at any time, love you. Thank you for being here. But I'm here indefinitely. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, let's go through those now.
I have a
I
question.
have to hop off.
You go ahead, Elizabeth, since you have to hop off.
I have to get back to work, but I just wanted to say thank you and I'll be in touch.
Thanks for being here, Elizabeth.
Thanks for having this.
No worries, Kirsten. Yeah, no problem.
Yes, Carrie, just coming back to your point about the pricing, that's like my biggest problem, especially since I feel like it's something so common, like everybody's doing weight loss, and even though I've niched down, like I was telling you, specifically for women with ADHD, etc., does that still really, call for a $1,500 price, and yeah.
Yes. So let's just look at how you can feel more confident in that. Is it a group program? Is it one-on-one?
It's mixed. So
yeah, good.
yeah.
I love this.
So I do a one-to-one because I do an intake, and
Yep.
then I do another one-to-one to outline their strategy with them, where I would give them their specific nutrition, wellness activity, any supplements, any testing, etc. to do.
Wow.
So there's 2 one-to-ones. Then after that, it's group. So there's a group call every 2 weeks.
Yep.
But I don't do more than, I do 6 to 10. That's my plan.
Yeah.
And they each get a dedicated 20 minutes within that. And I have 2 options for the group. So there's probably not going to be more than 6 people in one. So it's 2 hours. So then everybody gets at least 20 minutes. It's not like, and then I have the option for them to make it a private 20-minute, like if they didn't want everybody else to be there, so you could join in like a round robin, like you could join out slots. So it's still one-to-one in a sense from that perspective. Yeah. So.
And how long is it?
It's 12 weeks of actual course material,
Yep.
but then you get an additional 3 months in the group itself.
Wow.
So it's actually a total of 6 months total.
Yep.
So you don't have the bi-weekly calls anymore, and of course you don't have the one-to-ones because those are in the beginning.
Yep.
But you still are in the group. You can ask questions. You still have the prompts, and you have lifetime access to all the training and everything.
That's amazing. No, that's really great value. That really is. So when I was a coach in one of my previous mentors, the one that, I told you about earlier, like the minimum that she let people sell things for was $3,000. And there wasn't, if you were a brand new coach, if you've never done anything before, even if you weren't certified, you were selling for $3,000, and they were getting it because you're focusing on the results, the benefit, the transformation. And so, but a thing that you really differentiate yourself is you're focused on helping those with ADD, ADHD. And so if I were a person that was like, if I had, well, I do have ADD and I needed to lose weight, I would be like, she knows me. I have to go with her because
I guess the problem is that I don't actually know anybody like that. So I don't even know where to begin to find you.
Okay, well then you just start asking.
Yeah.
Like in my group, if you want to do market research, or if you just want to start connections,
Yeah.
you could just say, you're putting yourself out there. Maybe it's an introduction post. Hey, I'm Krisha. I'm a weight loss coach for those with ADD because I know. And then what are the things with people with ADD? What are they considering? Or what would make a program hard? Yeah, I would love to do your program, but I can't commit to anything, or I start stuff and then I fall off. Like, what is making your program, again, new and different from things that they've tried, and why is it customized? How is it customized for those with ADD, ADHD? Like, how can you make this no fail? You've already added in that conditional guarantee, which, you can be pushing that out there. You guys, you're not going to fail unless you just like give up completely. I am here for you. Like, if you don't lose the weight, you get more coaching with me, and just be leading with that, type of whatever is going to be new and different, because I don't know of any coaches that offer that type of guarantee really, that are really big, and plus it's just, your program is highly customized. It's very supportive. You have a high level of accountability, high level of individualized feedback. It's not just supplement that they're taking and they're winging it on their own, like, what do you need? I've got it. Like, you just, as you get in there and as you start hearing from people, you'll know what their objections are, and then you can just create something to overcome it.
Well, I better start with that then. Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, a beta is a really great way to start. So whether it's a beta, a founding members launch, a case study, just let them know that, so maybe you want this to be 1,500 and you're going to say, yep, this program's 1,500, but for the first, 10 people, maybe 5 people, whatever number you want to use, I'm giving it to you for $9.97. You are never going to get it this low again. And just, everyone loves a good deal. Everyone loves a bargain. And I feel like with all that you're offering, I really, really do feel like that's a great deal. So, and I'm happy. Go ahead.
I guess that's, I get you're not supposed to need validation, but I guess I was looking for that, like somebody to say, yeah, that's a good price, it's a good deal. Because I look around at what various people are charging, but of course nobody's actually doing this exact thing. And I've seen other weight loss programs for like 2,500, and
yeah,
totally. And it's just, there's no one-to-one. It's just group.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I've seen some for like 600. So it's such a wide range that I was really not sure where to start. But I like your suggestion to start and then just promise myself every 10 plans, it'll go up.
Totally. Yeah. And then I think too, because it's basically a new offering, a new opportunity. You can be like, okay, so ladies with ADD, ADHD that are trying to lose weight, why hasn't this worked for you? Well, you haven't had a program that was tailored to the way that your brain works, and you can go into poke the holes in why other programs haven't worked, because it's not addressing the way that they see things, the way that their bodies are made, the way that their brains are made. But then at the end, but that's why I made this. There wasn't anything out there. And I knew that there were people that needed this. That's why I've included, and then just include the high level of support, accountability, all that kind of stuff that they're going to get. And they're going to see, yeah, there is nothing else out there like this.
All right. Time for me to go brave.
Totally. If you want me to look over anything that you're doing, or just need a little, Facebook Messenger, note of like encouragement or prayer, I will totally do that for you. It's not easy, but yeah.
And I'm extremely introverted. My son who just came, he is the complete opposite, very extroverted. And I am like, Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but I wouldn't mind doing like a one-on-one call.
Yeah.
Like, but like to say it, oh, let's do a one-on-one call in a group. Yeah, that's where it gets hard. But I'll do it tonight. I'll do it this evening. I'll go do it now. If you don't see me do it, message me.
I love it. I heard that it's on recording too.
Oh gosh, right. Let your year be year and your near be near, right?
But yeah, no, I'm an introvert as well. And so I
Really?
definitely, oh yeah, I'm a big introvert. And so we do have to work with the way God made us. But like again, too, sometimes I just had to take the focus off me and be like, okay, they need me. I have to get this message out there. I'm just like gonna get out of my own way and like focus on her.
It's so refreshing to be on a call the way you start with prayer. It's really because I know you just talked about somebody who paid I paid $10,000 for a program. Actually, I'm still trying to recover from that.
Yeah.
And it was 8 weeks long. And he was just, yeah, I came out of it with nothing.
I have done the same. And that's why, yeah, that's the beautiful thing though about being an entrepreneur is we get to be different. We get to make this be a good experience. And they'll see your heart as you put yourself out there. Just be like, you are not gonna fail. That's why I have this guarantee, and just be talking about how your program is different and your heart. And people will see that because you really are. You're so beautiful, first of all, but then just like so.
Let me just zoom in here.
Oh, you really are. You came on and I was like, oh my gosh, you're look like a supermodel. And but like then just people get to know your personality and your smile and you're so warm and inviting. Like just be yourself. Literally just be yourself. It'll be good.
Thanks for that. Thank you. Thank you, Reed. Thank you for being there.
Yeah, super fun. Super fun.
All right. Let me go do that post.
Awesome.
Yeah, because like while I'm in commitment mode, because give me half an hour.
Okay, you got it. What time zone are you in?
It's 3:47.
Okay,
So
you're East.
EST right now, but it'll switch in a bit. It'll switch I think later in the year when we
Yeah.
go back to daylight savings. So we will then be an hour behind. At one point it was 2 hours. When we lived in New Orleans, at one point I'd be 2 hours behind, and at every other time I'd be an hour behind.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know it's gonna change sometime. I just don't know when.
Okay, cool. Well, I am excited to see your post, and thanks for being here. It's super fun to get to know you a little better.
Yeah, it was because I mean your voice notes were very pleasant, but it was good to see you on person too. Nice.
Oh yeah, that's another good thing for introverts is those voice notes is we can connect without having to like feel like we're posting and blasting everywhere. I'm more about like a one-on-one, like, can I just be
and I really appreciate your sharing your story. I'm a single mom too, and heartbreak is just so thanks for that as well.
Yeah, that's keeps us motivated.
You're inspiring me. Maybe one day.
Not one day, it's coming up.
Really? No.
Hold that vision. You know what? Like, as I can't remember what the scripture is, but like they say without vision, where there's no vision, people perish. Like honestly, wake up in the morning, picture your perfect day, and then just thank the Lord in advance for all that he's going to do in and through you. It's not, I know as a single mom, I felt like so much pressure on me because it really was only me.
Yeah.
But like,
especially when you make bad decisions, like being coaches.
I've done the same. I have. And so, yeah, but I think also that gives us like our conscious, we're just like, I do not want anyone else to feel like that about my program. That's where I'm going to put in the work to do whatever it takes to make sure that people get good results out of this. So is a hard lesson and a costly lesson. And I have spent so much money on coaching that I didn't get anything out of, but I feel like that gives me a bigger heart and more commitment to like, no, if you want to do this, we're going to do this together. So yeah.
Thank you.
You get it. Okay. So good to know you. And bye, Tanya.
Yeah, it was so nice, you know, it feels hard to leave, but yeah, it's
Stay on as long as you want. I don't even know if Tanya's still here. She might have had to hop off, but Tanya.
my phone so I can make sure I do the first. I'm gonna go do it now.
Okay, I think Tanya maybe had to hop off. But yeah, you guys don't feel like this was like, okay, and now we're done. Like if you have questions about your offer, about putting it out there around anything, I feel like, I mean, I don't want to dishearten anyone, but like the offer, okay.
Oh, Tanya, listening, I can't get on. Oh, hi, Tanya.
Like the offer is the really fun and creative part, but continuing to market and
Yeah.
putting it out there,
That's the hard part.
that's the perseverance. And yeah, so, but hopefully like you feel really excited about, you know, what your offer is going to be. Like it's just going to make it easier to keep. And again, it's taking messy action. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. So just do your best. And the action is what brings clarity. So about not only your offer around what, you know, your clients want around you and what you like to do for marketing, what feels good, what doesn't, what type of launch event. Like I learned I will never do challenges again. I will never do a virtual event. I actually did a 2-day virtual event. It was 6 hours on Friday and 6 hours on Saturday. Like this,
Free or paid?
it was, yeah, it was not a, I bought into the idea that this was how you had to do it because that's what a coach was teaching. And that's where I'm like, no, there's no one way to do this. We have to work with how God made you and your personality.
Because I read where you said, because you know everybody teaches, a lot of people teach you have to have this free lead magnet and then you nurture them forever. But if you spent a lot of money badly, let's say, and you're $20,000-$30,000 in debt, like how long is that going to take before you actually, you know, start to actually earn money and start to actually bring clients in and start to actually meet them? So I think it's like a combination of what you're talking about, and then you know that those are kind of long-term strategies. So yeah.
Yep. But it can also really happen quickly too. Like, you know, I went from my 10-week $67 offer. That was in April of 2020. And again, that night I was convinced that I was going to quit coaching because I'm like, not working. I'm done.
10 weeks to $7. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in September, you know, the same year of 2020, in 53 days, I made 14,500 with a new offer and doing the market research. So if you don't give up, if you just keep learning and iterating and just keep going, it will come together. It really will. I also think I had a lot of that God was trying to make me learn. I needed to learn a lot more faith and trust and surrender and obedience. So there's all that too. But no, don't, it can happen pretty quickly as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go try this and we'll be in touch.
Okay, sounds good. Bye,
Thank you.
Krisha. Have a great weekend.
You too,
Bye,
Karen.
Tanya. Do you have any questions? You can put them in the chat if you do.
Okay. Bye, Tanya.
Okay. Well, thanks you guys for being here. Okay. Bye. See you later.